Now to the issue of the settlement freeze. We're joined from our Tel Aviv studio by Likud and settler activist Moshe Feiglin. Mr. Feiglin, thank you so much for coming in this evening. Prime Minister Netanyahu's cabinet today approved a new map of Israeli priorities that includes most of the settlements in the West Bank. Does this alleviate the concerns created by a 10-month moratorium on new construction in the settlements?
I suggest all those who care about the future of Israel not to get confused by these acts. The 10-month freeze appears to be part of a bigger plan, a plan that is similar to what we saw in Gush Katif 5 years ago, but in a much larger scale.
Likud Knesset members like Danny Danon and some others have strongly criticized Prime Minister Netanyahu's actions, and they even took part in a public protest against his policies. However, most ministers remain loyal to the Prime Minister. What do you think rank-and-file Likudniks should do?
I believe we are facing an inner fight in the Likud, a struggle against this I would say withdrawal number 2 or disengagement number 2. Obviously, the political fight, the political border of it is inside Likud. And I'm very happy that we managed to get some good people, like you mentioned, Danny Danon and other young Knesset members who are leading this fight now, and I really hope they will succeed.
Were you surprised that the Shas ministers ended up supporting the proposed plan, or do you think they're just giving in to promises that won't really be upheld by the Prime Minister? Well,
after the Oslo and the disengagement, the Shas ministers can hardly surprise us anymore. I was not surprised. I believe that the direction where things are going right now will lead us to, will very well may be leading us to Netanyahu trying to create a new Kadima, when he won't be able to break through the blockade, may I call it this way, inside his party, the political border inside his party. He may try to leave the Likud and create something sort of Kadima together with Shaul Mofaz, some of his own ministers that will go with him, and of course Ehud Barak. And that, so I believe we're facing a very tensive coming 6 months.
Mr. Feiglin, on to another subject now. You were just recently in the United States. You paid a visit to convicted Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard. What can you tell us about that meeting?
It is a horrible thing. I visited him now for the 5th time. I go to visit him at least once a year, and I can only call it the most terrible betrayed that I ever saw in my life. Here's a man who gave his life to save us, to save Israelis. And he told me this time that we met, he told me many times before when some kind of a deal to give to release Pollard for some terrorists came up, Jonathan Pollard said again and again, when information that could risk Israeli's life came to my hand, I gave up my freedom to give it to Israel. So now I will let the Israelis release terrorists who will risk Israeli's life again for my freedom. It's absurd. And look how we deal with him. Israel never even asked to get Jonathan Pollard back. Keep on betraying him again and again. He's still in jail, not because of the Americans. The only reason is the Israelis leaders wish to see him die in jail. I know it's not easy to hear, but there's no other explanation to what's going on. The official Israel never ever even asked to release Jonathan Pollard and send all the messages to the Americans. He's not our problem. He's your problem. Keep him by you in jail behind bars.
All right, Moshe Feiglin, member of Likud. Thanks for being with us this evening.